Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon may not be an entirely new Pokemon game, but there is a lot of new stuff and little changes being added, and if you're a big fan of the series, you're definitely going to want to check it out. Today in gameranx, here are 10 things you need to know about Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. Starting off at number 10, with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, not much has changed with the narrative, but it's definitely a little different. Just like every other Pokemon game, you start off living at home with your mom, and you still have a run-in with Professor Kakui, and then you get your Pokemon and you're off on your adventure. You're pretty much getting the same narrative, but this time around there's an emphasis on the Ultra Space, which was shown to us in the previous entry, but it wasn't fully fleshed out. The new Ultra Space stuff doesn't actually start to matter until a little later in the story, so you will have to make it through a lot of the story that you've seen before you get to the new stuff. Later on, you'll be riding a legendary Pokemon through an Ultra Wormhole to Ultra Megalopolis, where Necrozma has stolen all of the light. It's here where you'll be teaming up with the new characters, the Ultra Recon team, to stop Necrozma and return the light. And moving on to number 9, one of the sillier but still fun additions is the Alula Photo Club. Here you can take pictures with your Pokemon and you can pick your pose, your outfit, the background, and different camera angles, and you're also able to decorate your photos with different stickers and frames. Yeah, this seems pretty silly and kind of useless and something I probably wouldn't ever touch, but taking photos with your Pokemon will make them more affectionate towards you, which does affect how they perform in battle. So there is something that does affect the gameplay directly, so I guess taking a photo or two really isn't the worst idea because you do get something out of it. And next up at number 8, your Rotom Dex, the creepy living Pokedex that you had in Sun and Moon, is getting some new features for Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. First off, they've added Rotoloto, which will give you items and maybe even Pokemon eggs. As you grow closer to the Rotom Dex, you'll be able to make use of this new feature, and it's kind of like a slot machine. Some other things you may drop from Rotoloto includes items that will make it easier to catch Pokemon, and others that will increase the amount of XP and prize money you receive. This time around, your Rotom Dex will also have its own Z move. If you become close enough with your Rotom Dex, you get access to a Z move that lets you use a second Z move in battle when you're usually only allowed to use one. So you can definitely see the added benefit there. And coming in at number 7, the Battle Agency is another new addition, and it's a facility where you rent and battle with powerful Pokemon. It's actually pretty funny how this works. Your trainer actually just puts on sunglasses and becomes an agent of the Battle Agency. I don't know, some wacky shit happens in Pokemon games, man. I don't really get it. But yeah, you rent 3 Pokemon and then you battle other trainers. You can also battle online with other players, and the more you win and interact with other players, the more Pokemon you have available to you to rent. This is another weird addition that I don't fully understand. I guess it's there for you to kind of test out Pokemon. Well, I mean, it's just another thing to do in this already pretty big game, so it definitely isn't a bad thing. It's, more stuff to do is fine by me. And next up at number 6, Pokemon Sun and Moon brought Pokemon riding into the mix as one of the big new features, and in Ultra Sun and Moon, they're adding another rideable Pokemon. You're now able to surf with Mantine, and there's a new mini-game called Mantine Surf, and in this mini-game, you're surfing and performing different moves to earn beach points, which are interchangeable with battle points, which you can spend on rare items. Mantine Surf seems like a lot of fun, and it actually kind of reminds me of like playing an older Tony Hawk game, which I'm a huge fan of, so that's a big plus. You can also use Mantine to travel between islands, just like how you can use Charizard to fly in between islands in Sun and Moon. And honestly, when you think about it, it's kind of weird that this wasn't in Sun and Moon to begin with. I mean, the game takes place on these beautiful sunny islands, and they definitely surf. It's definitely a missed opportunity in Sun and Moon, but at least they're adding it in now. Next up at number 5, the region of Alula now has a bunch of totem stickers that you can find out in the world. They glitter and shine when you're near them, so you're definitely going to want to make sure to keep an eye out for them. Based on how many of these stickers you actually end up collecting, you'll be able to get a big totem Pokemon. These totem Pokemon are big, oversized versions of Pokemon that you've already seen before, nothing new, and both Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon will each have its own totem Pokemon that you can only acquire in that specific game. I guess this is kind of similar to the shiny Pokemon, where it's more of a cosmetic thing and just really bragging rights. Coming in at number 4, it wouldn't be a new Pokemon game without some new Pokemon being added into the mix. And with Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, we're going to be getting some new Ultra Beasts, a new Pokemon type that was added in Sun and Moon. So far, there are 3 new Ultra Beasts that we've seen, and with the interdimensional travel being a thing in these 2 new games, these new Ultra Beasts might look pretty strange when being compared to other Pokemon. The 3 we've seen so far are the Poison Pin Pokemon, UB Adhesive, the Rock Steel type UB Assembly that looks like a walking wall who's only available in Ultra Moon, and then the Fire Ghost type UB Burst who looks like a creepy clown and is only available in Ultra Sun. Keep in mind, these are just code names for these Pokemon, not their actual names. Their actual names, I'm sure you'll figure out once you actually catch them. Next up at number 3, each new Pokemon game usually has 2 brand new legendary Pokemon on the front of the box that are exclusive to that version of the game. But this time around, that's not really the case. The 2 flagship legendary Pokemon are still Solgaleo and Lunala, but in this version of the game, they're possessed by Necrozma, with Solgaleo becoming Duskmane and Lunala becoming Dawnwings. These 2 kinda new legendaries look very similar to the previous forms, but I think it's safe to say we can just look at Necrozma as the legendary flagship Pokemon for Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. While we're on the topic of legendary Pokemon though, in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, you're actually able to catch almost every single legendary Pokemon from the entire series, going back to Mewtwo and the legendary dogs. This is done by going through the new Ultra wormholes and seeing that some of these legendaries haven't been in a game for a while. Mewtwo, for example, hasn't been in a Pokemon game since X and Y. It's nice to see the return of these legendary Pokemon. And next up at number 2, with Necrozma being one foe you come up against in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, you actually get to go up against Team Rocket again. Well, kind of. This time around, they're known as Team Rainbow Rocket. The organization is once again led by Giovanni, but this time around, he's joined by other villains from previous Pokemon games, such as Maxie and Archie. This team is most likely encountered in one of the Ultra wormholes because they're a team from an alternate reality where they were successful in doing whatever bad stuff they were doing in the previous games. This is pretty cool. It's kind of like the Pokemon Universe's version of the Sinister Six or the Legion of Doom. I think this is a cool way to bring Giovanni and the other villains from the past games back together. And finally, at number 1, there are some smaller additions that are being made to Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon that we're going to get out of the way here. There are going to be some new Pokemon, obviously, and also new Mega Evolutions for each of the game's legendary Pokemon. There's a new Z-Ring that your trainer will get access to that comes with a brand new set of Z-moves to use. There's also going to be a few new cosmetic items for your character to wear as well, and a brand new island trial for players to complete. And those are 10 things you need to know about Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, but we want to hear from you. So meet us down in the comments below and talk about all things Pokemon there. As I'm sure you already know, hitting the like button really helps us out, and if you're new here for some reason, subscribing is a good idea because we put out videos like this every single day. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time right here in Gameranx.